Hi, this is Yolanda Van Veen, and in this segment we're going to talk all about how to prune McIntosh apple trees. Now, McIntosh apples are one of my favorite apples. They're very sweet and very crisp, and they're very easy to grow as a plant and as a tree in your fruit garden. And there are a few simple rules that you should follow when you're growing them so that you prune them and that they will produce even more fruit the next year. So let's go over some of those rules. So when you're pruning any kind of fruit tree, the goal is to cut out a lot of the random branches towards the top of the tree, because those are usually the more fruity branches that's going to produce the more fruit, and you want to thin it out about 1/3 the size each year. And that way it won't just get tall and lanky, and it'll fill up and you'll get a lot more fruit quicker. And so just by cutting out, see the lighter colored branches, you can get a lot more fruit, and you just trim them out and even it out. So there's more sun that gets into the middle branches and the tree will do much better. If you have a fruit tree that's been established and it's really tall and not producing fruit and you have not pruned it very much, then you can actually cut out some of the top branches, and what you're making is called a vase cut. By doing that, you're forcing most of the growth back down to the bottom part of the tree, and you'll get a lot more fruit for the next year. So when you're pruning any type of a tree, you want to be really careful to cut it at the right angle. For example, if it's a large branch, you want to cut first at one side and then the other side, and then you're cutting that branch off. Because if you just cut from one angle, it might actually hurt some of the bark and get into the main trunk. And you never want to hurt the main trunk because you will lose a tree if it gets too damaged. And you don't want to cut it too far out either where the CD cut is, because what happens is then it gets too much moisture and it'll rot and there's too much dead material. You want to cut it right at a little bit of an angle, leaving 1 to 2 inches right at where the tree is reading with the main trunk. Same thing, you never want to cut right up to the trunk line and make a solid cut, because what happens is the tree gets very damaged, and sometimes it will eventually kill the tree because it doesn't have bark to protect the main trunk, and that is what's needed. So by taking the time to prune out about 1/3 of the branches each year, and by just making sure that all the dead branches or wimpy branches are removed, it will force the tree to become stronger, and you'll get even more fruit the next year that you can enjoy all fall and even through the winter.